Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Becky D. You guys, I am so happy to be in the wonderful month of August. I'm so excited to be covering the topic of health and wealth, okay? If you are not ready for the topics that we're about to transpire on, I'm going to go ahead and give you this free out, all right? You can go ahead and opt out of listening for the month of August. Go back to the older episodes and listen to that, all right? But right now, August 1st, we're about to dive deep into the very first topic, okay? We're going to be focusing on health for this week, all right? So we're going to really get into some new things, all right? But before I can dive deep into this with you, I need to get you ready. I need to get you prepped, all right? And I need to get that mindset to where it needs to be, okay? So we're not only talking about health, but we're talking about our mental health. Because believe it or not, that's going to help gauge and kind of see where we're at as far as how far we can push ourselves and where we can go. See, a lot of people don't understand that the mind of an athlete has to be at a certain level in order to perform. I don't know about you, but you may remember the track star. I'm going to mispronounce her name, but she is very, very fast. And from the track meets that I have had the honor of watching online, she is amazing, okay? And you probably know who I'm talking about now because she was supposed to be the Olympic runner and it had a whole lot of things happen, right? Prime example of why the mental must be where it's at in order for you to perform at the top of your game, okay? So all that was happening in her life, right? And some people can usually take a tragedy and help it fuel them. But sometimes, especially when you have the media and you have all these other factors coming at you at all different angles, it's hard to focus in and really zone in on what you need, all right? So your mental health is exactly where we need to start. You need to have a strong, solid foundation, as we talked about before, in order for you to keep pressing on and for you to truly just perform and wow and just continue to pretty much just be amazing. I don't know any other way to say that, right? The other like example you can take is, Ja Morant. Right now, I mean, his mental capacity is probably beautiful right now, but it's taking a hit because of all the things that have transpired with media, social media at that. This is not even just like TV and newspapers and stuff. Now, this is social media stuff, right? Just the simple things, a guy being a guy kind of thing, like, a person being a person and just making some choices and decisions in life. Like I always tell my students, right? Every decision you make is going to have some kind of consequence, whether it's good or bad. We even discussed that in a later podcast, an earlier podcast as well. So if the mental game is not where it's at, it's going to drag your performance down, and then you're not going to be doing your full. You're not going to be doing your best, right? But if I go to a game, if I go to work, if I wake up every morning with a positive mindset and the ability to work out any negativity or anything that has added strain into my life in an effective way and not let it pile up and stress me out and get me down and make me sicker, then I know that I can be the best version of me every single day. Okay? So that's what we need to focus on first. So I want you to take a quick second and ask yourself, how is my mental health? Honestly, some of us will not be able to answer that right away. So I'm going to pose the question again at the end of this podcast. So when you're focusing in, trying to figure out what level your mental health is at, you need to write it down, okay? This is something that you can think about while you're driving, but when you do get the opportunity, maybe it's at a stoplight, you got a pen and piece of paper in your car, maybe it's at a stop sign, maybe it's you can pull over into a parking lot, and, just maybe, it's you using your device to talk to text. Whenever you get that moment, you need to write it down. What are your thoughts, right? So when you're thinking, you want to keep 3 key things in mind. What makes me happy? What makes me sad? What stresses me out? Now, there will be a whole lesson that you've hopefully had several times in school about good stress and bad stress. But what stresses you out? Because some things, they make us oh so happy, but it can still add stress to our lives. And some things make us very sad or angry, and it can still add stress to our lives. People don't understand that, but like, okay, I'm trying to think of a good example. I like to play games, right? And not video games. The only video game I can play is Mortal Kombat. But like, Monopoly and stuff like that, like those are my games now. We can play. But because I like to play games, it makes me happy. It's what I like to do. I now have to factor in some time in my schedule in order to play them. So I'm adding some stress into my life in order to try to figure out when am I available to actually sit down and play a board game or a card game. The answer is 9 times out of 10, I'm not available, right? So it's stressing me because it's something I enjoy and I want to be in my happy space, but I don't have the time. And we'll get to the balance of life later in August here. But what I'm saying is you need to see where is your mental health, right? So you're probably wondering, like, why happy, sad, and stressed? Because those are the 3 big things that the public and like social media and mainstream media and all those other things, that's what they're selling to, right? They're selling to you when you're happy are things to make you happy. They're selling things to you when you're sad. I'll even add anger to it if you want to add a little razzle dazzle, all right? If you're an overachiever. But what can make you, not be sad anymore, right? They also sell to you when you are stressed, okay? Those are the 3 big marketing tips. 9 times out of 10, someone who can't sleep is usually, still coming down off of a great day and they just need something to help them wind down, or they just had something very tragic happen in their life, or they're super stressed and the tension alone cannot help them fall asleep. So what did they invent? They invented, these sleeping pills, right? I'll never forget, after my car accident that I was in with my mother, I did not sleep. It was not something that my body was ready to do. 1, because the adrenaline that was pumping through my body was still kind of going strong. And 2, the pain I was in. And 3, I was worried about my mom, right? So sleep was not a thing for me. I was like, what is that? I don't want to do that. But the doctor noticed and she was like, you need to sleep. Like, your body needs to go into that realm. I need you sleeping. And of course, she prescribed me sleeping pills. Now, this thing about sleeping pills is that it will knock you out like somebody punched you in a boxing ring and you just spent like 5 days in the ER. Like, it knocked me out. Now, I could be a lightweight, right? I could be somebody who cannot take drugs. Well, I get that, right? But it shouldn't have knocked me on my butt like that. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I felt like I had a fight and I didn't even stand a chance. So you want to kind of know what levels you're at. So then when we move on throughout the course of August here, you know what to pay attention to. Like, okay, whoa. I like to, eat chips a lot. This might be the reason why, right? So now you're able to navigate a little bit better for your health. And a lot of people don't believe it starts with your mentality. Ever since Kobe passed away, right? Mamba mentality blew up even bigger. And so many people are just like, yeah, Mamba mentality, and they got the posters and they got it, posted here. They got it on shirts. They got it, in their kids' rooms. But I was like, that's great. And I love that that's a living legacy. But the thing is, are you actively living that mentality? Is that truly the mantra that you keep in your head? When I go to work, I always have to keep in my mind, today is going to go based upon the energy I put into it. So if I wake up in the morning and I just automatically assume everything is just crap is only going to be bad. Just, I couldn't get my coffee this morning and I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. That is all it's going to be the whole entire day, because I have now started off with such a negative mindset about one small issue, and I'm going to let it skew my day, right? Which is going to result me into probably eating chips, because that's my happy place, because I'm so frustrated and stressed out that nothing is working right, that all I want to do is just dive into a big bag of Doritos, right? Wrong. That mentality is what I need to change. So even when I had the opportunity of working with another institution, on the telephones that they had just right around that area, it said, today is going to go how you make it. And I was like, ooh, that is a perfect reminder just to put near everything. Like, today is going to go however you make it. So if you walk into work and you don't want to be there and it's just this and it's just that, well, honestly, one, you're not really going to be purposeful, right? So you might have should have just called out. And two, you're just causing more strain on your body than you need to. It's up to you to determine if you want to keep the same mentality. Are you ready to grow and glow into this beautiful being that you can be? So on today, I want you to go ahead and take some time and think about it. And then make that next step with me by joining me on tomorrow to really dive into the first part of the mental health. And we're not going to start with happiness because that's easy. We're going to start with stress, all right? We're going to talk about the stressors in your life and how we can balance that in our mental state in order to work it through our physical. So we have healthy bodies, healthy mind, and healthy wallets, all right? Welcome to Health and Wealth Month, all right? If you're just joining me and this is your first time with my podcast, welcome. My name is Becky D, where I give you that morning motivation that you didn't know you need on the way to work, but you're definitely getting now, all right? It's going to be like your new cup of coffee, and you're going to be needing it like an adrenaline junkie, all right? My name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, and I'll be talking with you all tomorrow morning after you guys have written down the things that make you happy, sad, and stressed. So how and where is your mental health?